Okay, welcome. For this video, we're going to be primarily concentrating on rings, and rings is being used in its audio mode. So currently I have a kick drum, which is coming from the Rossum Assimil8or here, and that's being used as the audio source going into rings, and then using rings to kind of transform the sound of the kick drum. There are a few videos around that sort of look at some of the audio properties of rings, but I thought, it's kind of good to, it's sort of, one more video can't hurt, right? And what you also have is that I've sort of split this off so that it's in a kind of a pseudo stereo, because rings allows you to have the odd and even output. So this is, I'm using two envelopes here. One is from the Micro Ornament and Crime, set to its Attack Decay app using hemispheres, and the trigger output at the end of the decay cycle, which is here on output 2, is then being used to trigger tilt, and tilt is the other envelope, and this is why I'm able to sort of have it feel like one side, it pans from one side to the other. So this is just listening to one side. And then with both sides together. So that's the idea there. What I also have is the Ochd, which is being used to transform a number of the parameters on rings. Currently this is working at its highest rate, but let me drop it down to 50%. So we can hear there quite a pronounced effect. When it's operating at a much more sort of audio rate, you feel less of the transitions between states. Now, obviously, what you can do on rings, you have attenuators here. So you'll be able to modify or scale the strength of the CV source coming in. I also have some triggers being sent from the Octocontroller. So the first trigger goes into maths channel 4, and then the end of fall output, which also sends a trigger, then triggers channel 1. And these are then used to also modulate other parameters on rings. It's the nano rings, so it's a shame it's not the really big one. Then maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. But what I also have is one output of Ochd is going into maths channel 4 to modulate the fall output as well. So there's an additional kind of modulation that's actually taking place. So what I'm going to do right now is just work through the different modes of rings. So you can hear, without actually altering the patch, you'll be able to hear how this bass drum is just kind of transformed as we go through each combination. I should also point out that the rings is also getting some volt per octave information. Let me take that out. So that's just without the arpeggio. Now this arpeggio is coming from the Octocontroller as well. So that's it as a static source, in that it has no pitch information. Let me put that one back in. It makes a bit of a difference, you know, but it's a kick drum, right? So there we go. So what I thought I would do, leaving it in like just the way that it's set at the moment, is load some different parts into there. So at the moment it's got a kick, which is called kick 2 bip, which may or may not mean anything to you, I don't know. It's a tabla, at least that's what it says there. Let me bring Ochd down a bit more. And you can feel the sound just kind of changing. Another tabla. Let me find a different source. Woodblock. It's got a much more sort of nasal character to it. Just going to vary the attenuators on rings. Just change the... So running it at its fastest sort of audio rates with Ochd, brings this additional tone at the end when it comes around, which when we're running at a lower rate, we don't hear quite as much. So this is what's referred to as a buzz. Speeding up the Ochd. By running maths, channel 4 in cycle mode, you can hear how the trigger output at the end of 4 is affecting the channel 1. You can just hear it sort of just altering the timbre. Let's bring this down, Ochd. I'm just going to alter some of the parameters on rings. So this is change to the shape parameter and changing the attenuator, increasing the brightness and then taking the attenuator down, increasing the dampness. Let's have a listen to that. A more muted sound. And then this is the position. Let's just move that around, sort of find an optimal place for this. Bring the audio rate modulation back from channel 4, hear what kind of effect that has. Now the after-later audio tilt, which is here, which is a very, almost like a very skinny function generator. It doesn't have the logic operations, but you get the trigger outputs, you can see it. I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can just see it, it's kind of flashing. So let's play here by reducing the fall. So you can hear very little of the signals kind of coming through. Let me adjust the rise. So it's got a bit more of a gentle attack. So here with a softer rise and a longer fall, you get more of a blending between each side and a new sound. I probably stayed in the menu mode a little bit too long on the Rossum, and it sort of reverted back to its original kick drum sound. But you get the idea that you can use, whilst this is quite an untidy patch in terms of the cable distribution, you can use a number of modulation sources. And one of the things that I like about the Ochd more than anything else is that, you know, you've got up to 8 outputs, which means that when you, with one knob, you sort of change, you know, anywhere from 1 to 8 parameters on a variety of modules. They can be on the same module, but they can also be on different modules. And also you can use some of them to modulate modules that are being used as modulators, like maths, you know. Whilst it's not entirely clear sometimes the effect of Ochd's modulating channel 4, it has some effect, because we can hear the change in the sound, right? In terms of how we, you know, how it's being modulated. Let me put it in the center one, which is the all, which basically modulates the rise and the fall. Let me bring that down a bit. Tighten it up. Let's do it as a cycle. Let me change the sound into the buzz, clave. Let's find one that was. I think this is. I can't quite see the name. I think it's an electronic kind of tabla. I must admit, I like it when it does that particular sound. When it modulates between the left and right signal. I'm going to bring tilt back down to a hard attack, and then bring the fall down. So you can hear the effect of that. So just by, you know, changing the fall parameter, you kind of change the feel and the perception of the part. So that's without the volt per octave information. So that's it as a static kind of percussive source. And back in. So you could have this under another CV control, kind of like a gate, or maybe just an attenuator. Take it out. I hope you've enjoyed this brief walkthrough, and if you like this content or any of the other content that I've done, and maybe if there's something else you'd actually like to see, then do let me know. And thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.